Hello, everyone, and welcome to Body Bags. I'll be your reviewer for today. I'm Lonnie from Tats, and I think you guys already know that this is a theme week, and the theme for this week is horror movies that you would pick up from a Dollar Tree. And first, I'm going to do my review of the 2010 movie Rubber. I know, a killer car tire. Interesting. But then afterwards, I got like a few recommendations of horror movies that you can pick up for $1 each if you take advantage of the Dollar Tree $1 sales. So anyway, coming out in 2010. This is a French production, written and directed by Quentin Dupieux. Hopefully I said that right, Dupieux. And the story is about Robert, and Robert is a car tire, and it's just a tire that's been left out in the middle of the desert, that's been abandoned, and at one point, the car tire comes to life, and it finds out that it has psychic powers, and the powers allow it to destroy things. So it starts off destroying inanimate objects, and then true serial killer mode. Then it moves into small animals, and then it decides to put its focus onto people. And so Robert's just rolling along, doing his thing, and he comes to kind of an old motel out of the way in the middle of the desert. And one of the guys, I'm trying to remember if he was like the motel manager or just like a maintenance guy that worked there. Anyway, yeah, he's the actor is David Bowie. Bowie. I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name. The movie that I remember him from is he played Weird Al Yankovic's pal in the movie UHF, if you've ever seen that. And then there's this young, beautiful woman. It's like, she's just the woman, pretty much. And Robert becomes fixated on her, and so she gets he tries to kill her, but the only thing he manages to do is just make her car stall out in the middle of the road. But, she's finally able to get her car started again. She decides to pull into this motel and take a room. And, sorry, my throat's a little dry. So Robert ends up taking the room next door to her, and also, too, killing the maid, the cleaning lady, and basically kind of stalks her and becomes fascinated with her and things. And then, in the meanwhile, it's interesting. You have a group of people that are sitting, kind of like on the hills, and they're watching this. They're watching with binoculars and stuff like that. They're watching this whole movie unfold, and there's an accountant, and he's talking about how you could tell this movie's trying to get deep. It's trying to have a message to it, and it's like talking about how like moments in cinema can be, pointless and things like this and everything else, and it does try to get a little bit arty and stuff like that. But then a sheriff named Chad comes along, and he's trying to figure out what's going on, why are all these dead bodies going around and everything else. And the problem is like they don't really want to keep this movie going. Chad is like, why do I have to keep this movie going? There are people up there, they're watching this whole thing. One of the people, one of the onlookers is a man in a wheelchair. That's Wings Hauser. Wings Hauser, you remember him from all kinds of movies like, Mutant, Tales from the Hood, all these movies, The Carpenter, movies like that. And he's one of the people. And so, turns out that these people, the onlookers, they've been watching this for like a couple of days, and at one point they're starving. They're really, really hungry, but they don't want to leave and everything. So at one point they're given a poisoned turkey, and everybody eats it. Everybody except for Wings Hauser. He's the only one who doesn't eat it. And they're slowly being poisoned and everything else. But the problem is because Wings Hauser is still watching what's going on and everything, they have to kind of continue this movie and everything, and try to get it to its conclusion and things like this. And this is not going to be a particularly long review because this movie it's a little bit difficult to kind of just really talk through it. What do I think of it? It's okay. It's not great. It's not terrible. The idea is really interesting behind it. It's definitely an intriguing idea. And I do think that this is one of those kind of movies that, you say what you want. You can sit here and say, like, a movie about a killer car tire, that has got to be the absolute stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And it's like, okay, good or one thing you got to give the director credit for is good or bad, stupid or smart, a movie about a killer car tire, you'll remember it, you know. Because, I mean, so many horror movies come out, and after a while, they just all kind of just run together. I mean, think about it. After a while, you've seen so many zombie movies, they all just kind of, after a while, they just kind of all blur, and except for certain ones that, when you get a good one that really stands out, like some of Romero's movies, like Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, or, like Return of the Living Dead, or, something like Night of the Creeps, or something like that, something that really stands out. Like, I mean, after a while, like so many of these movies just kind of all blend together. They just kind of all mesh together. And after a while, like, I've seen so many zombie movies, I don't even remember a lot of them. And, the same thing, I mean, a lot of slasher movies. I've seen a lot of slasher movies. And just after a while, it's just kind of like, okay, well, that was a thing. And just nothing memorable about it. The premise wasn't memorable. The killer wasn't memorable. The characters, so on and so forth. Ghost stories, haunted house stories, and so on. You get the idea. But like I said, the idea, smart or stupid, funny or whatever, you'll remember, a movie about a killer car tire that has psychic powers to make people explode. Like a movie like that, you're going to remember it, whether you liked it or not. So that's actually an interesting premise. But one thing I will say about this movie is this movie clocks in at 83 minutes. That's kind of a bit too long. And to be truthfully honest with you, something like this really would have benefited by being just maybe like a 20 to 30 minute short film. It does feel like it kind of overstays its welcome a little bit. But, it is interesting. But just kind of like when you start getting into, the idea of the film itself is interesting, the car tire and it's never really explained why, Robert, the tire, is attracted to this particular woman. He just is. The woman, I mean, she doesn't really hardly speak. There's not really a lot of character development. I mean, she's just this beautiful woman that Robert, the car tire, just happens to be obsessed over and wants to, keep stalking her and trying to kill her. And he can't or won't for whatever reason, And then the cops are trying to, find Robert and stop him, keep him from killing anybody else. So, but I think also too, just kind of like, I mean, yeah, you could kind of tell like with adding in the whole kind of subplot of the audience watching the movie or watching the story as it unfolds, and then, having to try to get rid of the movie audience so that they could just end this whole thing and this kind of whole discussion about how, movie moments can be meaningless and pointless and things like this. It just kind of makes it drag out just a little bit too long. But I would definitely say give it a shot. I mean, it's like you have to admit, it's like good or bad, it's an original idea, and it's not something you see every day. No, but to my knowledge, before this movie, I don't think anybody's ever done it. But I would definitely say give it a shot. Because if nothing else, it's unique. That's the one word I could definitely use to describe this movie. It's unique. And I would definitely say, yeah, go ahead and check this out. You could have some fun with it. But just like I said, just kind of after a while, it just kind of feels like, okay, this premise really is kind of starting to wear a little bit thin. But I still say give it a shot. So anyway, so yeah, Rubber, I say go ahead and check it out. Horror movie fans are always saying they want something original. Well, if you haven't seen this, and it's definitely not a premise you've seen done too many times, I would definitely say, yeah, go ahead and give Rubber a chance. Check this one out. So anyway, so yeah, but, we were talking about, I know, let's see, Rob, I know he recommended some movies, and I think Glenn did as well. But yeah, here are some movies that, I found out that, you can pick up for $1 from Dollar Trees. And, you can get some decent movies. A good number of these are, I've noticed are these magnet titles. They have a lot of these magnet titles. These ones are definitely on sale from Dollar Trees and things like that. So one definitely good one here, at least I think it's good, is George Romero's Survival of the Dead. Now, I know a lot of people will be saying, well, that's probably the weakest one of all those Romero zombie movies. Like, yeah, okay, even if it is, here's the thing. It's a Romero zombie movie on Blu-ray for $1. I mean, come on, that's not, you're still getting it for a steal. Even if it's not the best of the Romero zombie films, it's a Romero zombie film for $1 on Blu-ray. You're still getting it at one hell of a bargain, in my opinion. So yeah, so Survival of the Dead, there you go. That's one. These here I've seen in Dollar Trees. I think it just depends on which ones you go to, which ones have it. Okay, VHS, VHS 2, VHS Viral. Yeah, the VHS trilogy. I've definitely seen these on sale at a Dollar Tree, and the VHS series, they're hit or miss. I've seen, to me, some of the stories in here are really good. Some of them definitely not so much. Yeah, even still, it's like, okay, yeah, some of the stories not as good as other ones, but you know what? For $1 a piece, some horror anthologies, even with some decent stories, I definitely think that's worthy of $1 each. So yeah, the VHS trilogy, I've seen those. Okay, this one here, I've seen this one a lot. We have Hobo with a Shotgun. There you go. I've seen this one, advertised in plenty of, Dollar Tree $1 titles. So I'm glad though, I have to admit, I'm glad that this is only like $1, because no offense to, if people are fans of this movie, that's all great, that's all fine and good and everything else. Personally, I kind of think this movie is a little bit overrated. The late great Rutger Hauer, he's always a pleasure to watch in whatever movie he's in. But oh yeah, just this movie, I don't know. I've watched it a couple of times. It just kind of feels like it's a little overrated in my opinion. But that's just me. And the last one, this is going to be my last recommendation. I can make others, but in case if James wants to make some recommendations, let him have a shot at it too. But this is the last one that I could recommend, and this is Yoga Hosers, a Kevin Smith film, a horror comedy, which is Kevin Smith's sequel to Tusk. So if you're a fan of Tusk, and you're a Kevin Smith fan, which I am, Yoga Hosers, I've definitely seen this one for $1 in some Dollar Trees, and you got Lily Rose Depp, Johnny Depp's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith, Kevin Smith's daughter, Johnny Depp returns, playing the character that he played in Tusk, Guy Lapointe. You have other actors too. You have Justin Long is in this, Haley Joel Osment, Austin Butler, so on. You got some name talent here, and I know this movie is definitely a lot of hit and miss with a lot of people, but I always liked it because it's definitely Kevin Smith getting out of his comfort zone, and it's another one of these movies. It's like good or bad, smart or stupid. You know what? It's unique in its own way. You have like the monster that Kevin Smith plays himself. I don't know if you see like the Bratzies, the little Bratzy monsters and stuff like that. So, like I said, good or bad, smart or dumb, at least it's unique. It's its own thing. So, it's definitely original. You don't see, sausage monsters running around too much. So, there you go. So, but anyway, yeah, another one. And even still, like I said, if you just wanted to get it for your Kevin Smith collection, or you just want to see it because, if you like Tusk and you want, this is a sequel to Tusk and you want to watch it, there you go. It's only $1. So, but anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this this week. And yep. So, when they have the sales, go down there, see. You might be able to find you some good horror movies, and they got all other kinds of movies too. So anyway, if anybody took the time to watch this, I thank you for doing it. And I appreciate you for doing it. I also hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave it a like. If you haven't already, go and subscribe to the Body Bags channel. We have a different reviewer, one for every day of the week. I'm the Saturday reviewer. We have a different man for every day of the week. Everybody's doing great stuff, really good reviews, and got more fun. We got fun label weeks coming up. We got theme weeks coming up, and everything else. So that's it. So everybody, take care. Have a good night, and I'll see you later.